everybody. I hope you guys are having an incredible week. It's been a really long time since I've been live. It's been a very extremely busy month, but I am so happy to be here sharing with you guys today. So today I really wanted to talk about an important topic regarding how we're coming into a higher state of love, higher state of frequency, and softening that transition between being fully immersed into this matrix co-creation that we're in, pulling away from that, how to soften the movement from being so fully connected and integrated in the stimuli of the matrix and continuing to relate with that and those emotions and those feelings, helping us move away from that. I've been receiving a lot of messages from people that seem to be going through something similar, and I myself am going through all of these similar. Hi guys, I'm so happy to see you. Hi Jordan, I'm so happy to see you guys. You guys are so awesome. So as I was saying, today I want to focus a little bit about that, and I kind of want to talk about let's clarify when I say matrix what I mean exactly. What we're talking about is so let's start at the beginning. In your everyday life, you are constantly living through these exchanges with the world around you. And what you are seeing in reality is a holographic projection based on your subconscious mind and what we are collectively co-creating. Okay? All of us are interconnected in such an amazing way, biologically, emotionally, energetically, in more than one way. We are all very much connected. And so the question is, how can we navigate this reality, from a place of being whole and integrated in spite of having these interconnections with everything around us? In a way, we are a product of our environment. Everything that we are feeling, sensing, all of the events that are happening around us are constantly stimulating our mind, our body, our emotions, our sensations. And we are filtering all of those experiences through the filtration system of the chakra system. But going further than that, the chakra system is connected to your endocrine system, then connected to many organs in the body. And so everything is filtering and recording and receiving information. And so that being said, our focus on a daily basis has to be on understanding what it is that we're actually bringing in. What are we bringing in? What are we receiving? What are we transforming? How are we transforming that information? And that requires a certain level of awareness. It requires a certain level of understanding that, first of all, this is a function that's occurring in your body, and secondly, that you are in charge of dictating how you are co-creating with what you're receiving. So this is incredibly, incredibly important, because from the moment you get up in the morning to the moment you go to bed at night, you are in charge of everything that you're feeling, sensing, and experiencing in your life. And I think it's, beyond that, we are living in an organism that is then working with other organisms as we live in a multidimensional reality. You are multidimensional, and so is this entire organism. And so that being said, we are also shifting through the organism's its own evolution. It's going through different experiences, different phases, different energetic movements in the multiverse, and all of those can cause a certain shift in the way that we feel and experience things. So we have to be very aware of all of these things that are playing a role in our very everyday life that we think is so simple, that is just, getting up, going to work, going down the to-do list. There's a lot going on there. And your life very much can be that, where you are only focusing on the things that are stimulating you externally. But then over time, these become very monotonous experiences. And within that realm of being connected to constant stimulation, we are then altering those experiences and enhancing them. And the enhancement of those experiences are happening on more than one way. They are happening through our perceived programming, but also they're happening through the collective programming that's occurring with your network. So ancestral trauma that's coming down your lineage, and how you are perceiving and processing that information, how you are correlating it with your experiences. So it's important to become aware of how we are moving through all this information. Okay, as a person that is trying to come into some sort of a awakening, a healing, it's really important that we kind of become aware of these movements of energy and information that we're coming in and out of in our day. Because then we start to understand how important our presence and our consciousness is in navigating those experiences. And more importantly, you start to realize that you really are a co-creator. You really are the one in charge of managing what you're creating, instead of being in a victim role where you are constantly striving and struggling to succeed and to have a happy life, or the perceived notion of what a happy life is. All of these old structures of belief, of being confined, of being constricted, of being limited in your possibilities, must change, must end. We have to prepare ourselves and learn how to come into a new way of thinking that is more expansive and connected. We have to train ourselves, and it's each and every one of us that has the responsibility to do that as a single organism, as part of a much greater organism. So as you know, we talk a lot about how we are co-creating and experiencing all of these things. Some of us are going through a tremendous amount of transition right now, and there's a lot of confusion. There's so much confusion. And so one of the things that I really want to impart today is the importance of your inner connection, your inner dialogue, that inner communication, of using your intuition to navigate these oceans of massive amounts of information that we're coming into. Because the way that this information is being presented is coming into the filters of other people, just like mine is. But the thing is that as we listen to all of this information, we have our own experiences. So the only way to really understand what's real is understanding how we experience those realities. But if we are taking a back seat and observing, and only, and one thing is observing, another thing is actually just listening and following information and things that people are saying, if we take a back seat to that, we're going to be faced with many more questions, and our questions will be misdirected because we're not truly coming from an authentic growth, an authentic connection to that information. So right now we have a lot of confusing information, and I was thinking about talking about a certain topic, about something that was very controversial that was posted a couple weeks ago regarding spirituality, the spiritual community, questioning all things, including angels to aliens and ET contact and consciousness. So, these are things that are put into our wavelength, and there is no judgment in part of the person that is putting these things out, but it's imperative that you stick to your personal evolution and what is true to you. And the only way that's going to happen is by you taking the time to sit down and meditate and connect with yourself and go inside and search for those answers and ask the questions. If you are not asking questions every day about your reality, your life, and how you are co-creating, then you need to start doing that, because we're coming in a time where things are going to get even crazier. We're going to have even more information. We're going to have more things coming in. And so we need to become very clear about what our guides or, and I don't like to use the word guides personally, but your higher self is expressing to you, how your higher self is working through you in your information. Okay, so it's really important. And so that being said, in the realm of awakening and evolution, hello James, Joshua, my darling, hello. I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you. That being said, in this evolution, this process of awakening, there are parts where we are pulling away from one reality into another. It really is that way. It really is that we are pulling away from this feeling and warmth of what we know to be true, and what we need to become. And so this is where things become kind of shaky, because we're coming into new ways of thinking, new ways of feeling. And so sometimes we feel lost. We feel like it's difficult to navigate those new experiences from the perspective of the higher consciousness or higher awareness, unlike what we used to be. And so in that process, it can be very painful. It's very isolating. We often feel that we are very isolated, and we don't have someone to connect to. We don't have someone to throw back and forth such intimate experiences of awakening and coming into this new way of living. And so for those of you that are feeling a little bit that you are isolated and disconnected from other people that are going through the same awakening, please understand that the connection and the awakening is a collective awakening. It is collective, and you are never alone. We are all one organism of consciousness, which is just living through different manifestations of body, face, any kind of manifestation. It's just pure consciousness, and all of us are experiencing and going through that. And I think we have to start living in a way where that's true, where we are no longer shedding or hiding away from expressing those very deep thoughts, those deep emotions, those deep experiences of coming into this new way of living. And the reason why I want to say that is because we cause more separation by putting boundaries around us and other people that we feel are not ready for that information. And it causes a lot of friction. And yes, there is a lot of sometimes negative reaction from people that are really not ready to hear this. And of course, you have to know when to pull yourself away from those situations to protect yourself energetically. But at the same time, we also have to strengthen our knowing, our connection, and our protection, because we must know how to protect ourselves energetically and sustain, hold space. Hold your space, your vibrational space, because you are this consciousness coming into a higher level with everything that you're practicing and knowing. So you're holding a tremendous amount of space. And in that space, you are like a beacon of light to all of those around you. Your frequency that comes into this state of expansion is helping and aligning others, allowing them an opportunity to align with your frequency as well. And this is not something that comes from ego. This comes from a pure embodiment of that knowledge and that consciousness that you have understood, that you have learned, that you are living. Okay, so and so I just want to invite you in the next couple months to really hold your space. Be that beacon of love, be that beacon of light. And I think the easiest way to hold that space is to not come from a place of fear or from the continued matrix programming of separation. We have to break that concept. We are united, we are consciousness, we are all the same, we're all going through this ladders up and down of ascension, difficult moments. And in one way or another, our network is our mirrors. They are our mirrors. The things that we see in others that cause us disgust, anger, that trigger us to be like, oh my God, look at that sleepy person that doesn't know how to act. Those are our mirrors and the ones that we need to focus on, we need to look at, because what triggers us in what we see and notice in them is something that's still within us, right? And it's still working through us. So we got to really dig inside of us and figure out what that is and help open that, help expand that, so we're not becoming a slave to our own limitation. So the isolation, the concept of isolation is something that we are causing for ourselves. This is not true. This is not true at all. There are so many awakened people right now, so many people that are very conscious and awake. All we have to do is hold our space, and those people that need to come to us will come to us. Okay, and in a state of being lonely and, in a state of discomfort, you are your own provider, your beacon of love, your provider of connection, and everything that you need is within you. We have to start embodying that. We have to understand that instead of looking outside for answers like we do for information, for confirmation, a lot of us just keep looking for confirmation on things we already know. But really, where is our embodiment of that knowledge? Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about today really briefly is as we're pulling away from this everyday life of our working, our work, being in survival mode, paying our bills, family life, our dreams, and our expectations for a very routine life here on this planet. When we're coming into an awakening, we start to realize that sometimes we don't resonate with a lot of these things. We don't resonate with getting up and going to work every day. We don't resonate with having the same concepts of how relationships should be. So there's like this, it's almost like this sticky glue that keeps pulling us back and forth into these realities and these experiences. So little by little, as we pull away from that, what we have to be very clear about is who we are. And who we are is an observer of all these things, an observer of that workplace, an observer of our relationships, of our family nucleus, of all the problems that we have in our lives, so that we can understand how to work through them without having to struggle through them and continue playing through the same roles that the Matrix wants us to play. The Matrix and the concept of this reality is making us feel like we are in survival mode, that we have to struggle, that we have to feel pain and suffering. But I'm suggesting that maybe we allow ourselves to pull away from those continued ways of interrelating with things into a more empowered way of observing and always staying in a state of neutrality and staying in a state of deep connected love. And when we come into the frequency of love, which is one of the highest frequencies, we are coming from a place of compassion that's not only for yourself. First of all, this compassion has to be for yourself. But secondly, it's compassion to those that are around you and everything that you're experiencing. All of the triggers at work, that's nobody else's responsibility. It's your responsibility to handle your triggers. Everything that annoys you, everything that makes you angry about the world around you, that's you. What has to change is the actions that come next. And if you are willing to make a change in this reality, then we have to apply our wisdom to how we are acting and relating in this reality. The time is now, seriously, to start embodying a higher state of consciousness. And we have to stop talking about becoming conscious. We really need to embody consciousness now. And it has to do with absolutely everything. The moment you get up, interact, how you feel, going to work, how you're interacting with people at work, how you're feeling about yourself throughout your day. All of these things are so important. And it's time for us to just practice what we're preaching. We are living in this constant state of duality where one side of us is very spiritual, the other side of us is like, busy with life, right? But these have to be integrated. We have to be that consciousness living through all of these experiences from that true state of consciousness. That's the real embodiment of being awake. That's actually really being awake. And so I understand that it's difficult to do that sometimes, and it's a struggle internally to check yourself. But my advice to you, and what has helped me during these times myself of pulling away from this, is by questioning every single emotion that I have and questioning why I'm having those reactions. What part of me requires these certain interactions, these continued games of energy play? Everything is energy. If you start looking at things that way, your perception might change. Because at the end of the day, when you're exhausted and you have pain in your body, or you're just dead or emotionally drained or sick, tired, sad, depressed, this is the result of a day where we have interrelated with these things in an imbalanced manner. So you should be as rejuvenated, excited, and energized in the morning as you are at night before you go to bed. So maybe this week and over the next couple months, we can take a moment to notice how our energy level is throughout our day, where we are investing our energy, so that we can start to rebalance that. And all of this has to do with many levels of consciousness. If we practice in our everyday life becoming very aware of the present moment and our reaction with everything, we will bring that on to our other dimensions, which we are co-creating in. For example, if throughout my day I'm questioning how I'm feeling or why I'm feeling a certain way, at night when I go to sleep and I start to go into dream time, if I continue doing this practice, even in dream time, I will pull that practice in. And that's also a way of starting to train yourself to become conscious in dream time. It's important for us to become conscious on all levels of our reality, okay? We are multi-dimensional beings. Please understand, you are a multi-dimensional being. And something that I want to show you is that you are at the center of this spider web. I talked about this on a radio show earlier this week. And you are connected energetically to so many aspects of yourself, fragments of yourself, which are left in this non-linear timeline of the past and the present. Every thought, every expression, every intention is a line that you are creating that is connecting to something. So be cautious of what you're connecting to. Be cautious of what you're creating, because more and more you entangle yourself into this connection to what you are around you. Cutting cords and letting go of all of those contractual agreements with family, friends, this is not a toxic thing to do. Some people think, oh, why would I cut cords or break contracts with family members or the people I love? I love them so much. And what we're doing is we're not cutting cords and contracts with them in order to no longer connect with them and talk with them, but we are neutralizing the energy and the information that we are throwing back at each other. And so this is how we start to learn new ways of having relationships that are not codependent, that are not out of balance, that are conscious on both ends. When you cut cords, you allow both organisms to decide how they want to interact with each other. And that's really important. And I think that's part of embodying a new way of being and living in this reality. So, this is why I really talk a lot about being conscious of your energetic body. And in this multidimensional reality, in this matrix, becoming aware of how your energy is being displayed constantly is incredibly important, incredibly important. So that being said, I'd like to do a really quick practice with all of you to kind of ground, center ourselves, and come back into a state of neutrality so we can go along our day and have an incredible week. And we're going to tap into a feeling of unconditional love right now together. and hopefully creating this unified network of everyone that's here, my beautiful people, that you can go out into the world today and share this magnificent new frequency that we're going to come into right now with everyone around you, as you are the change. You are the consciousness. You are the awakening of this reality. And so it's really up to each and every one of us how we live and represent this awakened life. And it's hard. It is hard. I understand. It's hard because we are multidimensional beings, and because we have an identity. We have an aspect of ourselves that is dying to be seen, to be loved. But if we become our own providers of that, then we expand. We expand so greatly. So let's get started. I want you all to close your eyes. We're going to inhale deeply and exhale. We're going to connect ourselves down to the center of the earth. So I want you to visualize the core of the planet and send your grounding cord. Once again, this is really healthy for the physical body, balancing the positive and negative charges of the body, and also bringing your brain into a state of awareness, because you are now aware of your physical state in your physical plane of existence. So connect yourself as if you have roots connecting you down to the core of the planet. Okay, we're going to visualize our field of protection around our body, and in other words, becoming aware of your own energetic field. So just become aware of your energetic field, and you're going to focus on creating a protection around your field. And you can also call it an empowerment. You become empowered by becoming aware of what your energy is doing. And that's kind of what I want you to do. I want you to be empowered today by knowing what's coming into your space. So visualize a protective field around your body, completely above you, below you, to all sides of your body, enclosing you completely as you create the appropriate boundaries, the conscious boundaries of how you're going to be co-creating with your fellow peers. So visualize that sphere around your body. Okay, we're going to ground the space that we're in. So wherever you are, I want you to visualize like the roots that you put to your body, you're going to put to the space that you're in. So I'm going to visualize grounding my house down to the center of the earth. I'm going to fill my house with the color gold as I raise the frequency in my space. And so all of us can do that. We can all move, shift energy in our environment. It's important that we become aware of that, because that's a very important tool. If you want more information on that, you can see my videos that I did for the 31-day challenge that talk about how to manage your energetic space. So raise the frequency in your home to the color gold, which is very neutral, healing energy. And you're going to put a protection field around your home as well. Okay, it's important that we understand our home, our space. And you can do this around your car as well, if you are in your car. Okay, we're going to start by closing the first chakra. You're going to close the first chakra like the aperture of a camera. You are just managing, controlling. It's really important to learn to control. We go up to the second chakra, the orange light underneath the navel. Go ahead and visualize closing that chakra all the way down. We're going to go up to the solar plexus, to the yellow chakra. Go ahead and visualize closing that chakra all the way down. We're going to go to our heart chakra. I want you to open that chakra as wide as possible, front and back. So all of these practices are helping us bring the multiple dimensions of ourself back into this present moment. If you feel like you're floating away or you're out of your body, more than likely you are. And so it's very important to reintegrate those aspects of ourselves into the physical body. That's what we're doing now. We're learning how to control this very valuable machine of a body that we have, very complex. So we're going to go up to the throat. I want you to open that chakra, and I'm going to go deeper into that. Any question that you have about grounding at the end of this session, my love. We're going to go up into the third eye. I want you to visualize opening this chakra as wide as possible, front and back. Very good. So you are now in reading state. This is how we train our psychic abilities. This is how we train the higher frequencies of our body. However, we only come into this when we are in protection. So what I want you to do is I want you to visualize a powerful green energy that's going to come up into the body, creating a powerful vortex at your center core. Inhaling deeply, allowing that energy to enter the body, creating that powerful vortex. From the universe, from source, I want you to visualize pulling down a powerful wave of gold energy, cosmic energy that you are bringing in, mixing with that green earth energy at the center core. Mixing those two energies in a powerful motion as we begin to work with this third dimensional body that we're going to clean up with these energies. You're going to send 10% of that energy back down to the center of the earth. And I say 10% for those of you that really want accurate numbers, but I'm talking about a small stream of energy, green and gold, from the center core through your grounding cord back down to the center of the earth. You're going to pull up some of that green and gold up your spine, and from the crown of your head, you are creating a fountain of energy all around you, pushing out any heavy emotions from the body, any heavy emotions from this week that no longer serve you. Take them out of your body. Focus on eliminating them from your space. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Very good. You're going to go back to your solar plexus now, and you're going to pull up that green and gold energy up your spine, and from the palms of your hands, I want you to visualize filling the inside of your sphere. I want you to feel that green and gold energy surrounding your body, powerfully cleansing and removing any kind of entities, attachments that you may feel that are stuck in your energetic field. And this is the time where you're going to tap into your intuition. We are training ourselves to understand what we're holding on to. So any kind of thoughts and emotions that you have come into this week that are heavy, any circumstances, you can start to review through your mind, and you're not going to play through them. I just want you to acknowledge them so you know. And I want you to see where you are holding on to them, either physically, emotionally, mentally. Where are they? Maybe they're just thoughts. I want you to bring those and become aware of them in your space now. And as you become aware of these thoughts and these emotions, and you are running this energy through your body, I want you to focus on eliminating them down to the center of the earth, as if you are swiping or literally cleansing a window. You are cleansing 7 windows in your energetic body, 7 spherical windows. So I want you to visualize these glass bubbles around you that are spherical, and there are 7 of them around you. You're going to be cleansing all of that space completely. Very good. As you cleanse your space, you're going to inhale deeply and exhale. And now that you are here and you have cleansed your space, you should feel lighter, more expansive. So I want you to take the time now to tap into a state of love. I want you to create that emotion as you remind yourself of something that causes you so much love in your life, something that you love, that brings you so much joy. I want you to bring that thought, that emotion here and now into the present moment. Okay? And we are going to repeat in our mind, I love myself and I love all things around me. Okay? We're just going to be repeating that. As we breathe, inhale deeply and exhale with a very cleansing cycles of breath, we're coming in more and more into this state of love and connection to your body. And as you say this, as you feel this, you're going to feel yourself more aware of your body, more connected to your body. So as we're running this energy through the body, as we are repeating this intention, we are really coming and bringing ourselves into a state that we need to come into. The frequency of the body is beginning to change. Okay? We are changing our state of being in the here and the now. And then the focus will come into letting go of everything that hinders you from coming into this state of love. Any kind of resistance, any kind of fears, doubts, self-doubts or insecurities, any kind of problems that we have in our life right now, we are detaching from them and bringing ourselves in an empowered state of neutrality. So come into this state as you let go, like almost as if you are shedding an old skin off your body of all of these things that have occurred over the past 24 hours, last week, last month. Shed all of that. Let it all go as you focus on this present moment. And any thoughts from the past, any thoughts from the future that want to come into our space, we just let them go as well. Okay, bring yourself back to your breath and to this intention that we're creating here for yourself. And so what this practice really helps us do, it helps us break the illusion of separation between ourselves and all things around us. Oftentimes, we feel so isolated, so separated from the things around us, but this is a reminder that we are consciously and actively co-creating with our environment. And you can do so by changing and dictating the frequency that you are emanating in your every moment. So take this time to really come into this very powerful generation of this new frequency that we're going to be pulling into the rest of our day. Okay? Inhaling deeply and exhale. I love myself and I love all things around me. Okay? We are just consciousness moving through all of these different manifestations around us. Very good. So we're going to go back to the root chakra, and you can continue doing this practice as long as you like to do. We're going to start with the root. We're going to reopen that root chakra. I want you to visualize spinning it as fast as possible. We're going to bring in a white source light, cleansing out any blockages and imbalances from the root chakra, focusing on the lower organs of the body, cleansing out the sexual system of the body, any kind of stagnant energy, fear, anxiety. All of that is out. We're going to go up to the second chakra, the orange light. We're going to visualize reopening that chakra back into a balanced state, spinning it as fast as possible, eliminating any blockages here within this space as well. Very good. We're going to go up to our third chakra, the yellow chakra in the center core. You're going to visualize reopening that chakra. Okay, you're reopening it to the width of your body. You're going to spin it as fast as possible, eliminating any blockages in the emotional body. You're going to inhale deeply and exhale, cleansing yourself, cleansing this organism. You are the master of your body and your mind. So move it all out. Move everything out. You're going to go up to the heart center now. I want you to close, rebalance that heart chakra back into a balanced state. You're going to go up to your throat chakra. We're going to rebalance that chakra back into a balanced state. Going to go up to our third eye. We're going to rebalance that chakra back into a balanced state. And as you come into this new state of balance, we're going to go up to our crown chakra. And some of you that have been working with me have your creative colors, your color of co-creation. Go ahead and put that up into your space. If you don't have a color of co-creation, I want you to select a color that represents your highest frequency. Okay, the first color that comes up, do not doubt your intuition. You're going to put that color up into your crown chakra. And this is a manifestation wheel. This is like the prism of where consciousness is fragmenting into this three-dimensional reality. So we are accessing this information and we are realigning it with our highest expression, because that's how we wish to co-create this reality every moment. So go ahead and fill that up with your color. And you're going to send that up into the 8th chakra. You're going to send the color up into the 9th chakra, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th. You're going to see the white light above you, which is your higher self. This is source. This is infinite consciousness. We tap into this because we are aware of how the structure of the human body works and what it looks like. So I want you to connect yourself up into that white light, and you're going to bring that white light down over your body, rebalancing your body, coming into a state of connection, of alignment, of full awareness. Okay, very awake and aware, always in a state of observation of yourself and those around you, without judgment, without having to have any kind of emotional or energetic pool or exchange. We are just observing our reality, and we're deciding how we want to co-create with it every moment. So I'm hoping that this really helped you guys come into a really nice solid state. And so you can all come back into the room now. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to be here for just a few more minutes before I have to head out to my next appointment. And I want to answer a question from Buckaroo Lennox, who had a question, said, I heard the words explaining why we ground into the planet before we meditate, but I was too meditative to understand. Intuitively, I like the feeling of floating away while I meditate, but people say not to do that. That's a great question. And so when we're meditating, I think there's some confusion about the purpose of meditation sometimes. Obviously we must understand that meditation is for us to heighten our level of presence and our level of awareness. And this is very important on more than one level. It's important on a physical health level, and it's important on a multidimensional energetic and emotional level. What happens is the majority of us are on autopilot throughout our day. So we're usually outside of our body. And that's why some of us have a difficult time connecting to our emotions or how we are perceiving and processing events in our life. We're not sure how that made us feel. We don't recognize why we feel a certain way, or why we start to feel down or sad, or why this person triggered us in this way. It's a state of being unconscious with your environment. So in order to avoid that and cause ourselves further confusion, because when we're operating from that unconscious level, any number of things can happen, and all the body's going to do is react to those experiences. And those reactions are usually going to come from an instinctive perspective. So the first three chakras are the ones that are connected to the physical plane. Those are the ones that are going to be interacting with that. And with that kind of an exchange is normally not the highest expression of yourself. It'll usually just be instinctual to protect yourself or the ego. And so that's where things start to get complicated. So in order to avoid that kind of in order to avoid that kind of prolonged confusion and karmic energetic exchange, we want to come from a more conscious state of being. And so we need to bring all aspects of ourselves into the present moment, into this physical body, so we can feel through our experiences consciously. So we are now aware of why things are making us feel a certain way, why we are reacting to things, why our life is the way it is, basically. So being in your body, grounded, should be something that we are 24 hours a day, not just in meditation. Now, when we're in meditation, several things will happen. As you are starting to learn how to meditate, you learn how to control your centers of intuition, your chakras, your vortexes. The body will feel different ways. When you start activating and working with the chakras in the beginning, sometimes you will feel dizzy, sometimes you can even feel nauseous, sometimes you can feel like you're floating out of the body. And those are okay as long as you're conscious of why you are feeling that way and aware of your energetic body. And this is all part of the learning of how to work with this very complex machine of a body that we have. Ideally, we want to be very present, very connected to how we're feeling and interacting with the world around us all times. Everything that causes stimuli in the body is an important information that we have to be aware of, and we have to know how we're processing that information. So grounding in meditation is imperative, because when you're meditating, you are becoming aware of your environment inside and out. And so as an observer, in order to understand how to navigate those realms and actually bring that into your everyday life, we have to be conscious instead of just leaving the body, because then you're not going to be getting anything out of your practice, and you will also not be able to record and understand that experience so that you can carry it onto your everyday life. So thank you so much for that question. If you guys have any questions, hi everyone, I love you guys so much. April Chambers asks, how often should we do this process? What I teach is Energetic Hygiene 101. So all of these practices that I'm sharing with you are something that should be done on a daily basis. Primarily and minimally, the awareness of your physical body. So I made the acronym GPAC: grounding, protecting, aligning, and co-creating. And so these are basically the basics of how we should all be aware of this very complex machine and hold that space 24 hours a day. So I really invite you to try to be more aware of your energetic space every moment, and that'll help you in your journey and avoid further confusion, further karmic contracts and enlacements that you don't want to get into. And I can explain that in another video. And I have a lot of videos about this that you can visit as well. Amber, thank you so much for asking that. Helen, thank you so much. Beautiful. I'm so glad it answered the question. I miss you guys so much, and I'm so glad that we spent time today. And I will be... Do you have basic directions in writing? I don't have them in writing, but I do have a lot of videos on my YouTube that you can do. And maybe I'll do a write-up later this week about this. So I really thank you so much for being here. I thank your higher self, and I have so much infinite love for all of you that are working so hard on yourselves, and you know, all of your struggle and pain and difficulty sometimes in coming into this new way of being. Trust me, I understand, and you know, the struggle is real, but let's stay connected and let's help each other as much as we can. If you have questions, I'm really happy to answer them. I have a very busy schedule, but I really want to make myself available to you, and I will facilitate that more and more. Next weekend, I'm going to be in Tucson, Arizona, so please spread the word if you can share for me. Anybody that is in Tucson at the GEM show, I'm really excited about going there. I'm going to be spending my birthday there next week, but also doing one of the most important things for me, which is a workshop, and I'm going to be doing that with Vivian Chavette in Tucson, Arizona. So if you are in that area, please sign up, come on down, let's connect, and let's get some work done. We're going to be doing some really heavy DNA reprogramming and Arcturian holographic healing, which is something that I have come into as well over the past year. So I thank you again, and I will also be at Beyond the Matrix in Sedona, March 19th to the 21st. Please check that out if you're in the area. I would love to meet you. And speaking at UFO Con, UFO MegaCon in Laughlin, Las Vegas. And I hope to meet you all there. And we're going to be getting into some very interesting topics. Also, I'm going to be doing a alien and ET contact Q&A at the end of this week. So anybody that has questions about contact or deeper topics on the ET connection and consciousness connection, I really want to get into that information. And as my new TV show on TV program on Sci-Spy television, I will be getting into a lot of these deeper topics, but I want to connect with you and see what it is you really want to learn about. Okay, so let's do a Q&A, and I want to help answer some of your questions about contact and the hybridization program as well. So, all my love, and I will see you soon. And for those of you that celebrate Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day, and all my love to you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you so much. You have an amazing week, Hermeticus. All my love to all of you.